Welcome to the CBRS, HMIS and IT-Link demo. The system is designed to be a web interface. This means that you can access it anywhere as long as you have the internet. All you need to do is to go to the following website, www.whctims.org, and you come to the following page. From here, we can access or enter the system via username, password, or the fingerprint biometric logins. For the case of the demo, we're going to show you the biometric login. So all you need to do is to click onto fingerprint. When you click onto fingerprint, the app will launch. You put in your thumbprint, and there we go. Once you log in, you come into the landing page, which is TIMS branded, and gives you a little bit of background into what TIMS is. On your left hand side, you would see the access to the various systems, being CBRS, HMIS and MDMI. We've placed it all under one link for ease of access. So for the first one, we're going to be doing the CBRS, which is the cross-border referral system. When we designed it, we had to use the search function first, which made sure that you have to search for a person before you can add a new person. This eliminates the concept of duplicity, where you enter duplicate consumers. So the first thing you need to do is to search. You can search either from a ID number, a TIMS ID, patient's name, surname, as well as the fingerprint. So you select the details, you enter the details, you click onto the search, and then you find the patient. If the patient is already on the base, you will see them in the search results. If the patient's not on the base, you would have to click onto new person. When we designed the system, we looked at the various aspects of what is needed in terms of patient capture, in terms of patient details, and in terms of contact tracing, which is why we've captured all of this information electronically, and it does become mandatory. We've captured your name, your surname, your telephone number, your address details, as well as next of kin. We've even put in a photo capture just to ensure that it's the right patient, as well as a signature to ensure that the patient does give you consent. So let's move on to the next place. All right. So we're going to do a capture of a new patient quickly. I'm just going to cancel this. So new patient. We capture all the details. What we've also done is that for ease of use, we've used drop-down arrows wherever possible. So the drop-down arrows will allow you to be much faster. It segments the information as needed from your key population, your date of birth, the current key population areas needed, the location. All of these are accessed via drop-down menus, which makes capture so much easier. The only place that you would really have to enter information is the address and telephone number. Even under employment, you would capture the occupation, which country they're from, where did they work previously, last employer, and then you have alternative contact information. This information has to be in there before a patient can be registered. Once you register, then you click onto the register button and the patient will be there. Once the patient has been registered onto the base, we now need to find the patient so we can attach the biometric capture as well as the photo. For the sake of the demo, we're going to be using a test ID. Yes, we found the patient. View. All the details you can see that we have already been captured. Go to update information. As soon as we go to update information, we go to update picture. And then we take the picture that's needed. We also allowed the update of the signature pad to happen. You can take the signature. There we go. Now the signature has been added to the patient's details, along with all the other personal information, next of kin information, contact information, and telephone numbers. This would all be used in the track and trace process, as well as identifying which key population group they fall under, which mines did they work, how long did they work, and that kind of information, which will help for future analytics. go towards the end, which is next. Once we click onto next, we come up with the appointment summary page. The appointment summary page was placed in there to help with the patient scheduling the next appointment, as well as confirmation of the referral process. The idea is to set up an appointment in the new place where you are referring the patient to, and then when the patient goes in, you would be able to confirm, view, or action any of the points. This is where we close the loop on the referral side. So in this case, this patient has been referred to Klatikulu General Hospital. Did he go to his appointment? No, but it is going to be there. Once we skip the appointment, we come to the patient details page. That's where the additional information of the medical details of the patient is going to be. You have the patient number, the details, the disease classification, which disease is it? Is it TB, silicosis, presumptive, unknown, or other? Also note that the drop-down menus are cascading, so whichever you select, additional menus will open. Silicosis, there we go. Based on the TB that you select, you will be able to identify whether it's drug sensitive, drug resistant, and based on what you select here, it affects the cascading menus on the top as well as the treatment regimens at the bottom. Here we are allowed to enter the disease classification, the disease type, the treatment category. Is it a new patient? Is it a retreatment? The diagnosis, extrapulmonary, pulmonary, which site is it in the body, and what are the ICD-10 codes. In addition to that, we capture the smear results, which is taken from after the test's been done. We capture the gene expert results, we capture the LPA results, the culture results, and the HIV. HIV status, we're capturing CD4 count, yes, no, and what is the CD4 count, viral load, is it positive, negative. All this information is captured and is replicated from the file that the patient uses. We're also capturing additional information as to what additional disease is it, what medication that they're on, and any additional comments that can be had. Anything that is additional to this that is not on the screen, we've put in a notes page where you would add the information that is needed for the doctor. You also have the option to upload any additional documents and x-rays, which is whatever medical documents that's needed, you are allowed to add this. We also provide you with a history of the documents that you have ever since the patient came in. Here is the treatment regimen. It tells you which regimen you're on, what's the body weight at the start, you need to enter that, what is the body height, and here we put in the drug that you're using. We've tried to stay away from a number of tablets, but we'd rather using milligrams. We've also put in the DOTS information, what's the treatment outcome, and what's the end date, what's the result. We try to capture as much of the file as possible. In the instance where the patient qualifies for compensation, the doctor also has the option to refer them for compensation processes immediately. And this will understand whether it's the first BME, yes, no, does he qualify, what's the center, where was he examined, is he a smoker, urine. All of this information is captured from the compensation process. The referral process is fairly simple. So once you search for the patient, you find the details, go to next. You have a history of the appointment. You skip the appointment, and you come to the personal details, the medical details screen. From the medical details screen, you choose refer this patient. It opens up the referral process. From here, you would say which facility you're sending the person to, why you're sending the person, what is the telephone number of the person, what is the email address if there's any, what date are you scheduling the appointment, and what other information you're going to have. In addition to that, we add the medical details as well as all the medical records and the tests that have been completed. Once this is done, we go to create referral, and when you create a referral, it sends the patient an SMS and it creates an appointment in the referring facility. It allows you certain mandatory fields to be filled. We want the appointment to be. Once the referral is done successfully, you would get the confirmation referral screen. All the information is correct. You can either print it and give it back to the client or to the miner, or you just cancel it. That is the cross-border system. The HMIS is launched from the exact same screen. However, availability to this depends on access levels. If you do have the access control, then you would be able to see it. So you select HMIS and you select the HMIS dashboard. The first tab is where you monitor your all 10 SADC countries, while tabs 2, 3, 4, 5 are country specific. So we've based the HMIS into filters, allowing you to filter which countries you want to select. Do you want to select all? Do you want to select simple? Do you want to do a comparison? Again, once you've selected the country, we've segmented it by a province. Which province do you want to use? And we can allow detailed comparisons from there. But we've also understood that while countries have provinces, you want to segment even further into districts. Some countries may have provinces, some countries may not. So we've segmented it. Then we look at the years. You can do ever since we've had data on the base, or you can use specific years. So for the data, for this purpose, let's use the first 3 years. What diagnosis do you want to have? Is it TB, DRTB, DSTB, silicosis? And then which key population? We've taken the key population definitions from all the countries' key population segmentation. We can select one. Then we do life statuses, whether you're alive, dead, or we don't know. Treatment outcomes, are they cured, transferred out? All of this information is obtained directly from the registers. Whether the person is HIV positive, yes, no, even breakdown into whether it's male, female, or it's not populated, so we don't know. We also look at status change, where the person has moved from one TB to the next, an example being moving from DS to DRTB. Women is very important because if they are breastfeeding, they become even more of a risk, which is why we've had the breastfeeding option to say yes or no. Once we've selected the filters, you go on to view report, and the reports would be generated on the fly. As explained previously, this is a web-based application, so results are instantaneous. All you need is the internet connection. Below is a summary of the reports that you would see. We segment per country to tell you which country you're from, what is the numbers that you've got, and each country is segmented by a different color code. We also give you the TB diagnosis per country as well as a breakdown. How many is DS? How many is DR? How many is silicosis? How many do we not know? Here's your country, here's the breakdown. We also provide you the mortality rates, and mortality rates is essentially how many people have died with the disease breakdown, how many people have died with DS, DR, silicosis, or unknown. Here we've got the same information but displayed in a different format with proper numbers attached. We've also given you the HIV infection rate. We've given you a TB breakdown per country, and then once you have the TB breakdown, you need to understand what's your treatment outcomes. Are they working? Are they not? This is overall per country. This is treatment outcomes per country. We've done the same thing by year to understand your performance over last year, over the previous years, and the same graph that's here is based on the treatment outcomes. And then you have your TB breakdown per quarter. So while this is per year, this graph is per quarter. Age breakdown monitor, key population monitor, location monitor, and TB type monitors are all country specific. You select the country, and the country that you are assigned to is the one that you're from. Then you have a breakdown per province, per district, and then you can select the years that you need. You can select from a specific drop-down list or specific years that you need. Again, we look at the TB diagnosis, the key population, the life statuses, the treatment outcomes, HIV status, gender status, life change status, and breastfeeding. Once again, the graph is interactive. It gives you a TB breakdown per diagnosis with specific age ranges, HIV statuses, and treatment outcomes. We give you a breakdown per country, treatment outcomes, per year that you've selected, as well as per quarter. The same concept applies for key population, monitor. The graphs are specific to the tab at the top. So this is the key population. It gives you the same evaluation broken down by key population, whereas the first one gave you the same evaluation broken down by age breakdown. So here we have the TB breakdown by disaggregation group, by HIV status, mortality rates, disease status, as well as per country, per year, and per quarter. And that's essentially the HMIS in a nutshell. The idea is to provide you with quick, updated information that can be received on the fly and allows you to do comparisons without requiring any specific software. You can also export the data into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and PDF for any other analysis and reports that you would like to do. Should any of these information not suffice to what you need, we have an option called an Excel report where the data can be exported to Excel for you to do your further slicing and dicing if the HMIS does not cater for any of your specific needs. We've also included a data dictionary which explains everything that you need. The MDMI, or Minor Document Management Initiative, or as some would call it, the IT link, it can also be accessed from the same URL, meaning the same place. Access to this and what you see on your web menu options is determined by your access level control. So the first thing you do is that you select on MDMI and you search for the person. We've kept the interfaces the same to ensure that you have minimal training issues. So the first thing you need to do is to search for the patient. Once you find them, you come up with the same screen used at CBRS where all the patient's information is. If you need to update anything, you can. If you don't want to, it's not a problem. Go to next. When you go to next, you'll have a history of the patient's claim. In here, you will be able to view the number of claims you have, what is the claims ID, what date was the claim initiated, and what is the status of the claim. Draft means that not all the documents have been submitted to MBOD as yet. LCC rejected simply means that the Bureau rejected the claim. And then we have the third option of being a resubmission of documents. This caters for the split process where certain documents are supplied up front, the MBOD does the investigation, and once you qualify for compensation, they request the rest of the documents. You'll be able to see. So once you go on to new claim, you come up with the BME forms which you need to capture. If you are already on the system via the CBRA side, we simply populate whatever information is there onto these screens. You would be able to add the X-ray details, which is the doctor, which is the radiologist, what is the comment, where is it from. What is key to this is the submission of the X-rays. If you don't have an X-ray, it will not allow you to save. However, there are two methods of submitting an X-ray. The first one is the URL, which is the PACS system. If you select that, you need to enter the URL that the PACS system gives you. If the PACS system is not up and running or the center does not have the PACS system, you would choose to courier it, and then you would enter the courier details. So you would enter the Weibull number, the patient's details, and how you would be able to track that. You go to save, and you would be able to save it. Employment history is exactly how it is specified in the BME forms. You'd enter one at a time. As the same concept, you'd select from drop-down list what mine type is it, what's the occupation, were you above above the ground worker, below the ground worker, what is your dust levels, what date would you start, and again, all from drop-down menus, what end date you had. You would be able to do this one at a time, so you'd save it. Once you've done this, your agent does a declaration to make sure that all the information is true, and we do this via the signature pads. So your agent makes sure that it's correct, enters the details, the clinical history you would be able to add, name of doctor, family history, history of present illnesses. All of this is obtained directly from the BME forms that the patient uses. Once you've captured all the details, you still need to load the required documents. These are the documents that are required for the first submission, and they are critical. So you need to upload the document, where it is, what type of document is it, file. If there's any documents that is already been submitted via the CBRS, it will automatically populate it in here. Once you've captured all the documents, you go to the next screen. Beneficiary details are not important for the first details, so for the first submission as per the amendment process, so therefore there's nothing populated here. The same with bank and the same with the signature. Once it happens, once you've completed everything, the miner needs to sign the declarations to ensure that he agrees with everything. The system will not allow you to go further if there is anything outstanding. Only once all the documents are there and all the criteria has been met would it allow you to submit through to the Bureau. Once the banking details have been uploaded, the final stage of the process is for the signature and the declarations to be signed again. This is to ensure that the miner as well as the agent has ensured that all the relevant checks have been done and the information is submitted to be true and correct. Once all of this has happened, you click onto the Submit for Review button. As soon as you click onto the Submit for Review button, it allows you to enter the signature to ensure all details have been submitted and are correct. Once this has happened, you would receive confirmation that all the details have been sent through to the Bureau. The agent now can print the documents and give it to the miner, or just close the process. From here, everything has been done that needs to be done. The next step is that the Bureau would receive the documents, do the verification, and finalize payment. Once the clinic user has clicked onto the Submit for Review button, an electronic notification goes through to the Bureau. The Bureau user would then log in with their username, password, or fingerprint. The login would be accessed from the same URL, and they would click onto the MDMI option. As we can view here, the options available to the Bureau user is very different from the clinic user. So then the Bureau user would select the inbox, and once you select onto the inbox, you would find the review that the clinic user has just sent. So the Bureau user would click onto View, be able to check all the information, verify its authenticity. Then you go to the second tab, which is the Documents. Here you will be able to view and download and check if all the documents are correct. You also offer the option to be printed or saved. Go to Next, and then Next, and finally we get to the option where we can either approve the submission or reject it. Approve the submission simply means that all the documents have been submitted correctly and they can now be forwarded to the Bureau for further investigation. The Reject button simply states that the documents are either incorrect, unclear, or needs to be resubmitted again. So once you resubmit the documents, we'll be able to tell you exactly what document it is. Once you select onto the Submit button, it would send a notification directly through to the miner. Once we've sent the notification through to the miner, he gets an SMS. He would be able to go back to the clinic to resubmit.